Previously on Netflix's Daredevil. Hey, why are we watching that tonight? Hey, previously, X-Men. That's where we are. We're not doing Daredevil, we're doing X-Men. Previously in X-Men, it has become clear that Naze, that the Cheyenne Elder known as Naze is not there to aid Storm on her quest to find Forge and has his own darker, catastrophic agenda. Meanwhile, the X-Men attempt to tie up loose ends on the West Coast and begin to witness the growing anti-mutant sentiment. I am Jason Lapidus.
I'm Chris Sanagan.
And we are Group of Seven Comics. Welcome to episode 157 of our ongoing live stream read-through of the X-Men comics that became classic. As we read Uncanny X-Men 224 by Chris Claremont, Marc Silvestri, Bob Wiacek, cover date of December 1987. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing well, thanks. And I also had that thought. I'm like, wait a minute, Daredevil premieres tonight.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is just a conflict of priorities.
Hey,
you and I are both big Daredevil fans. The comic, we're both big Daredevil fans of the TV show.
Yeah,
we like the MCU when it's to our liking.
Yeah,
and tonight we're doing X-Men. Can't do everything we want all the time, but I'm like triply conflicted because my son has a playoff game tonight. He's playing it right now. There's a minute 57 left, and it's 5-all. It's on the monitor just over here. So I'm like wired watching them trading goals and getting penalties. And he's a 16-year-old playing a low-level hockey, but it's super important to him. And I wish I was there, obviously, but can't do everything all the time. So they say. So I'm distracted for like another.
Yeah, you're doing all the things. So you are doing everything.
Yeah, but I'm not there to cheer him on, man. Like I want to yell for my boy, and I sometimes lose my cool a little bit at these kinds of events, and I get very engaged, and I even found myself sitting here feeling the feelings, the knots in my stomach as the game is progressing, watching him play because it's all
chair on the ice.
So yeah, I throw the chair. I'm freaking out. I'm like turning beet red, and I have a dog that some of you might know, and my dog has a really good heart. And so when he hears me raise my voice, he comes in the room and he's like, "Dad, pet me. Like, calm down. I'm here for some emotional support. I'm here to emotionally support you." So he comes in here to help me soothe, which is hilarious. And I'm a little embarrassed to say that he started doing that because he can sense that I'm a little wired. Okay, go score a goal right now. So just to talk hockey for another second, these guys have gone to overtime 2 games in a row. This is game 3 of 5. And looks like they're going to overtime again unless something changes. But, we shall see. Anyway.
Sounds like a couple of evenly matched squads.
Yeah, which is great. They're playing a team called Lefroy, the Lefroy Icebreakers. And Lefroy is a very small community, about an hour north of Toronto. But man, they love their hockey up there, and they've done really well this season. They've been the first place team. So it's a great match.
And a local history of ice breaking.
Well, it's on Lake Simcoe, or near Lake Simcoe, Innisfil area. So I get the fun of having a name like the Icebreakers. But my son's on the ice right now, so I'm super distracted. It's embarrassing again. Chuck says, "Howdy, ex-friendos. How you doing, Chuck? Hope you're well. As Jason, I like lots of things when they are to my liking." Did I say that? That I like things to my liking? Who knows?
I think so.
There are lots of things out there, and it's a fun night, and hopefully not everyone has as many conflicts tonight as I do. But it's over shortly. X-Men, Chris. We got to talk about X-Men.
We got to talk about one of the most pivotal issues in X-Men publication history.
Well, it's funny you should say that. Let's get into this a little bit. But first, man, our dance card is getting full for the season, right? We've got Toronto Comic-Con next weekend, not this weekend, but next.
Yeah.
At the Metro Toronto Convention Center, which is a big to-do. a nice local event that you're going to called the Halton Hills Fan Fest, which is in Halton Hills in Georgetown, I believe.
Georgetown.
It'll be a local library, which is nice. And you and I are headed to Montreal in May, which is going to be a wonderful celebration for both you and I. The prestigious Toronto Comic Arts Festival. We found out we got added to that. So our application was approved, and we're going to be at the former Maple Leaf Gardens, right? Super exciting for you and I to be there at Mattamy Athletic Center in June. And then way down in September, which feels so far away at the moment, we're going to be at Word on the Street, which is the largest outdoor book festival in Canada. It's awesome.
So many good things. Looking forward to all of it.
Yeah, we got a busy year ahead, so I'm excited about all that stuff too. This is from an upcoming issue. We've been talking about these filler issues. These are they building towards something? They're building towards something. Well, this is on a wall in Edinburgh right now in X-Men continuity.
Ooh.
Yeah, and we can explore that as we get further into things. I also just want to go full screen for a minute to share the issue that I'm reading, this copy that I've got here. So this is my childhood copy of 224, right? Fall of the Mutants is coming in the little spot there. Not a Spider-Man face, not a UPC code, but Fall of the Mutants is coming. And then when I open up, there is a card inside.
Oh, yeah.
That says, coming in December, Excalibur. And then on the back, of course, it's stapled right through. It's there. And it tells you the issues for Fall of the Mutants checklist.
Okay.
And there's a creepy as F mutant registration form, which is some really fun.
It's a gag mutant registration form.
It says on it, warning, this is a federal document. Under the terms of the Mutant Registration Act of 1987, all residents of the United States who possess mutant parahuman abilities must register these powers with the federal government. This is defined as those born with parahuman abilities as the genetic potential to plant this potential in their offspring. Failure to file this application is a felony punishable by fine and imprisonment. The fine is $15 and the imprisonment is like a day. So I find that adorable. But it's things are heating up. They're getting real loaded. And that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Yeah, just saying. That's all I really have to say about that.
Well, I think it's been a while since we've had an event in the books, So, every now and then, more often than not, with a cadence, there is an event that happens, every few months as you read these things. And so it's been a few months. So excited to build up to something.
Yes. And we know that 3 years ago in publishing history, Marvel created the Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. And that was their first crossover, multi-book tie-in event in that characters from different books had small segues into the series. There had been crossovers before, but this was the first time that it was, I think, of this scope with an action figure tie-in, and it felt way more company-wide than Contest of Champions, which was like a 3-issue limited series, I believe. This sort of maxi series of Secret Wars is 12 issues. And it sort of had characters from all over, and it impacted different books. So, like, what happened in it had consequences outside of it. Right. Mild, like Ben Grimm leaves the Fantastic Four. From an X-Men point of view, Colossus has a relationship with the healer Zaji, and that affects how he proceeds with Kitty Pryde. Magneto becomes a bit of an ally of the X-Men while on Battle World. So those things had consequences, where Contest of Champions had no bearing on the rest of the Marvel Universe after that in comics. Now, with X-Men, we got the first big X-Men crossover event, being the Mutant Massacre, right?
Mm-hmm.
And originally called the Morlock massacre or whatever it was. But yeah, the Mutant Massacre. And we know that editorial was so happy with the sales results that they said, do it again. And it's now been about 12 issues since then, right? So a year has passed and we're building up to another event. And just from this tag on the back, I can tell you we're going to be in 3 issues of New Mutants, 3 issues of X-Men, 3 issues of X-Factor, an issue of Cap, Hulk, Daredevil, and Power Pack. So that's pretty substantial in terms of, you've got 9 issues of X-Men Mutant comics and another 4. So it's a 13-issue crossover. That's a lot.
This is Fall of Mutants, right?
Yeah, it's called Fall of Mutants.
Excellent, because I have that Daredevil issue. Perfect.
I have a few of these things, but not enough to get them all. I'm not sure what you and I will do to cover or to talk about X-Factor and New Mutants. Maybe we'll just read an online overview and go from there. Or maybe I'll find an omnibus of some kind and talk about it. But I wouldn't mind getting an inside scoop because I know the X-Men narrative, but I'm not familiar with what happens outside of that with the other characters. But why don't we dive on into this and, and talk about this issue, which from the cover, Marc Silvestri is back, right? He didn't do last issue. Maybe he was gearing up to do a bunch of issues in a row and he needed a break. Who knows? But Jason Jose, Daredevil, new series on Disney Plus. I know, dude. I want to go watch it too. I will be staying up after this and watching that tonight as much as I can, as long as my old man eyes will stay awake. So I feel you. I understand your conflict, everybody. I feel it. And I know you do too, Chris. Nice cover and like action's great, all good stuff, except for I don't think Longshot sells covers yet. And I know personally, I don't really care about Longshot on this cover. It feels like an issue I would pass if I hadn't seen this on the newsstand. Do you feel similarly?
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I think if you are banking on Longshot and Havoc in the background there to get you excited about an X-Men adventure, I don't think that's where we're at right now. Yeah,
like the drawings are really good. I can feel the motion and all that stuff, but it just doesn't do it for me. But so be it. Maybe the issue will accurately represent that. Maybe it will not. 2 seconds left, 1 second, and overtime is done. They tied 3 games in a row. I'm going crazy here. Okay, let me turn that off because I now can, as long as there's no fighting, let me just find that window. South Innisfil Community Center and close, please. Done. Focus. I can do this, Chris. I can do this. All right, let's get it.
Will we go to a shootout now? Or they just tied?
No, so
because it's like first to how many points, right?
It's first to 6 points,
and they both have 3.
And they both have 3. So tomorrow they play again. That would, let's say they tie again, then they'll both have 4, and then game 5 they will play till there's a winner, and that will put one team to 6.
Woof.
Either way, if one of them wins tomorrow, they still have to play Thursday.
Right.
So guaranteed 2 more games. And those ones I will go watch.
Yeah.
I'm at least that good a dad. We'll see. Okay. Man, this hockey season's got to come to an end soon. I'm going nuts. So let's open up this bad boy. I've got this gorgeous drawing on the front page of mine. On the first page. Look at it. So, yeah.
You're talking the M&Ms, right?
Silvestri.
Look at those gorgeous M&Ms.
He can draw so well. Obviously, we've talked about this before. He, draws super lean and tall and statuesque women with really great posture. And it feels like 80s in full flight, kind of, I don't know, like 80s models.
Right.
In a certain way. But really, every issue we've seen Glynis Oliver just nailing it with these colors every time. Just the most beautiful color palette she throws in those natural settings. I really adore her work on these issues. So, big fan. The dark before the dawn. I can do this. The Continental Divide near the valley of the Yellowstone, Wyoming. This is the hour before dawn. Her favorite time, when the world lies hushed and still, no longer asleep, not quite awake. A magic moment, touched with innocence, rich with infinite promise, where reality appears to be not so much what it is, but what you imagine it. She is Aurora. She is Storm. 2 names, 2 identities, 1 woman. Mutant by birth, gifted with the parahuman ability to ride the winds and command the weather until that power was stripped from her by Forge. The man she loves, the only man on Earth who can possibly restore what was lost. The man she's come to kill. Yeah.
All right.
Kill him. Kill him good.
Yeah, kill him dead.
We've got a guest inker. We don't have Dan Green this time, so Bob Wiacek is a little bit more pen, a little less brush, but I think we're not really going to notice too much. On the next spread, I mean, I see one drawing that does not look like a Dan Green, but really, it's I think he does a good job. I'm not going to fuss. There we go. Those purples. Oh, I love them. They're so good on newsprint. 4, despite her loss, she remains no less the leader of the X-Men, that outlaw band of mutant heroes. No less determined and fierce, a defender of her world and its people.
Outfit suits you.
It is beautiful, Naze. Where did you find it?
These used to be our mountains. Lots of cachets through the high country. Buckskins, furs, weapons, even food, if you know where to look. I'm a medicine chief, I know.
Can your magic explain this weather? Snow in summer? The elements gone mad?
Yep, and it's gonna get worse if we don't stop Forge. My people, the Cheyenne, we call ourselves the human beings. Believe all things, living and not, they're composed of a set store of energy. Use it up, they cease to be.
The scientific term is entropy.
Whatever. Anyway, the adversary, the great trickster, he figures to consume all that energy into one big burst. No more people, no more life, no more anything. Bang, it's dead.
Why would he do such a thing?
Fun, maybe? We're mortals, Aurora. He's a god. Who can figure his motives?
But will he not be destroyed as well by his own Holocaust?
Nope. He survives. Always has, always will. To cast the world anew and start the cycle over again. He's beyond life and death, laughing, dancing his way through eternity.
You speak of him with admiration.
I appreciate brass and style. He has both. So do you.
And what of those who will suffer and perish because of this whim?
All things die, Roro. In the greater scheme of things, does it really matter when?
To the dying, my friend, yes.
Consider him a weaver, and us the individual threads. What intrigues him is the pattern, not the fate of each bit of yarn. He ain't satisfied with his design. He tears the tapestry off the loom and begins again, and again, and again, until he gets it right.
Blissfully oblivious and immune to the consequences of his acts. We are not threads, Naze, we are people, with patterns of our own to weave. Your trickster has no right to do this.
He'd say, I got the might, That gives me the right. Same as the white man told the Indians when he stole our land. Who's to tell him different? There's Forge's Mountain. His true Eyrie, the heart of his magic. You'll find him at the summit.
Will you not be climbing with me?
Can't. This is as close as I dare come. He's expecting me, Aurora. His alarms and defenses are keyed to me, but they won't hardly know you're there. He loves you. At that last, when you face him, that'll make him hesitate. That'll make him vulnerable.
And in that moment, I slay him.
Some really great faces on these pages.
Yeah, awesome.
If you got the gumption, if the world means more to you than your man, we've come a long way on our vision quest, Wind Rider. Both our bodies and our spirits, we've been through a lot. This is the payoff. If I've taught you well, then you won't fail.
We shall soon see.
Aurora, wait. Mwah! Little something to remember me by.
Hardly little, and a memory I shall cherish until my return.
Hope you do. I wouldn't count on it. Me, I don't care much either way what happens. Just so long as when the game is over, I win.
Woof.
Woof.
Thanks. First, said many times lately, I've been reading a lot of Hellboy.
Oh, yeah.
I've been reading and finished Hellboy in Hell, the 7th and final library edition, like massive tome of Hellboy. And just this idea of world creation, or I should say the cycle of creation, destruction, is a big ongoing theme in those stories. And this idea of these beings that are, pulling the strings on the cycle of creation and destruction,
right?
Like Ragnarok and such. It is an area that my reading imagination has been a lot lately, and so this feels like I kind of have had a lot of experience with these ideas of late as a reader, and I feel quite comfortable and like I'm in territory that I'm used to, as opposed to when I was a kid. This was all insane.
Right.
I'm reading this when I'm 12, and I'm like, all right, there's being, end of the universe stuff, and I've expressed before how much I don't enjoy like these grand cosmic open-ended tales, but I'm really gaining a lot of comfort with them. So I'm hoping this time through I'm going to enjoy whatever is to come. We need to address quickly Chuck's comment here, or question. So when did Parahuman enter into X-Men? Chuck, you've been reading along with us as long as I can remember, and this is the first time. We're also, as I read earlier, the Mutant Registration Act. I have a hunch getting that done kind of helped congeal the jargon around mutation and how they're going to express it in technical writing, or in their version, pseudo-technical writing. So it is a new thing. We saw it twice in this issue, once within the narrative, once on that form that you're supposed to fill out if you do have those abilities or those genetics, which some of you do, of course. And no judgment. Be mutants, all good. You got some safe space for mutants here. So yeah, this is the first time, and I wonder if we will continue to see it after the Mutant Registration Act is maybe resolved, maybe not resolved. We'll find out. So interesting one to bring up, and we'll see what happens after that.
Mm-hmm.
Michael says, "Is that a lot of dialogue even for Claremont?" It was, I would say, on par. With these couple pages of conversation, they weren't so crammed with word balloons that you couldn't see the art, which we've seen a couple times. This was okay.
Yeah.
Did you find it be too much for Claremont, or was this okay for 3 pages for you?
That seemed kind of
4 pages.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a lot. It is a lot of words, but we'll move past that. It's not too bad. It matters to you. How you doing? Every time Storm's drawn, hard not to compare the visual similarities with her extinction agenda, especially as the dude said her face is made so distinct. Are you the dude? Which one of us is the dude?
Well, we all know who the dude is.
That's true. Good point. Extinction Agenda, you and I read it, but you've never read it. So we'll get there when we get there. There is no rush towards Extinction Agenda.
Back in a second.
Okay. The Extinction Agenda, I believe, is at the end of all things for the Chris Claremont run. And so when we end up reading that, I wonder what old Mr. Sanagan's reaction will be, because it is a very different version of X-Men by the time we get there. I'm going to inquire here, Chris. Is it your dogs? It's okay.
Yeah, just one was scratching to be left out and then let out and then scratching to be let back in.
Fair enough. All right, let's continue after that amazing kiss. San Francisco, the sunset of a different day. Wait a minute. Is this like the next day? Or like that day? The day before?
Different day? It's a different day.
A different day. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
A different day. Not the same day. You know.
Yeah.
Matters to you. Chris, co-host. Yeah, that's you, man. You're the dude.
Woo-hoo.
All right. I'm happy to know. San Francisco, the sunset of a different day, where presidential assistant Valerie Cooper is holding a press conference to publicly introduce the federal government's own team of mutant superheroes.
Freedom Force was established as a direct consequence of such incidents as this recent battle between the X-Men and the Marauders. The one are self-proclaimed heroes, the others terrorists. Yet when they clash, it is invariably the innocent bystanders who suffer. As the ruins of this hospital most eloquently testify, miraculously, no one was killed. Freedom Force exists to make sure there won't be a next time. Along those lines, the newly passed Mutant Special Powers Registration Act labels such parahuman super abilities as deadly weapons, like handguns, and mandates their licensing by the government. Our goal is to bring the day of a self-appointed, unregulated vigilante to an end, and return responsibility for public safety and the national defense to the federal authorities, where it rightfully belongs.
Has the administration considered the civil liberty ramifications of this new law?
What about the civil liberties of the staff and patients of this hospital? Yes, the act may curtail the rights of a few, but this is a case where the good of society, the defense of the many, must take precedence.
Except the whole point of a democracy is to protect you from the many. Miss Cooper, how do you explain the fact that all the members...
Yeah. Sorry. See, I thought she was saying it too.
Okay. Miss Cooper, how do you explain the fact that all the members of Freedom Force are criminals? Isn't that a bit like setting the fox to guard the chickens?
I prefer to say, set the fox to catch other foxes.
Oh!
Whoa!
Oh! Before we
use that
continue,
one.
I want to point out 1987. You know, we are 1 year after the release and during the releases of issues of The Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen. The reason I bring that up, right, we're talking about two mainstream mega hit books that are selling over at DC.
Right.
And have already come out, and both of them have the idea of there being laws that were passed that outlaw superheroing. Right? The Watchmen, by that spoilers, that point in their continuity, to be a superhero has been outlawed, and it takes place years after that law was passed, and they live in the consequences. They live in that world without superheroes, without vigilantes, at least legally. And in Dark Knight Returns, it's been 10 years since anyone had ever seen from, or I should say seen and heard from the Batman. So yeah, both worlds, superheroing is outlawed. So it's kind of neat that this is, an X-Men version of that.
Yeah.
And it's where X-Men comics get turned around a lot faster than Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns. Both of those books, from a writing point of view, did not pivot much after their initial issues came out. Art-wise, they pivoted a little, but Dark Knight Returns didn't change its story based on what was happening in Watchmen and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jason Jose says, trying to remember the reaction by the Avengers to this government action. They're going to get in on it, I guess. I mean, we saw already in the X-Men Avengers how they clashed. They seem to be okay with the X-Men so far, but we will we'll keep tabs on that, see where that goes. They're pals with Beast, right? So I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other mutants on the Avengers? I think at this time it's still that. No, Dr. Druid, is he a mutant by any chance?
Dr. Druid, my man, Dr. D.
That Dr. Druid action figure. All right, let's turn that page and let's hear you reading TV voice.
Whoa. Yes, they're criminals earning a pardon, but this country was founded in large measure by convicts and outcasts who came here seeking a second chance. That's what is offered here, a second chance.
Makes sense to me.
Bull. Crooks belong in jail. Freedom Force and the Registration Act aren't meant as threats to anyone. Yeah, right. Nazis probably told the same thing to... Oh, jeez.
Gotcha. Listen, again, the word Jews by its nature is not a slur, okay? So you can read it. You can proceed with confidence.
Oh, yeah. I was just more like, I mean, it's pretty flippant to compare. Like, it's more just the tone.
I will say, at the same time, if we want to put this in context,
yeah,
Claremont, is the child of Jews. He's born in England, and he's Jewish.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay,
right. So that's one of the reasons that Kitty Pryde turned out the way she did, and that Magneto, 5-6 years ago, got retconned into being a Holocaust survivor.
Right.
Claremont is bringing his experience as a member of a community, not suggesting that his family members went through that, of course.
No, but it's like the next generation, right?
But it's just that a cultural awareness of those things. He brings that parallel really nicely. Whereas maybe originally there was a little more civil rights. Mm-hmm. American civil rights was sort of part of the equation. Claremont brings it to another whole level of genocide, which was not really in the mix before. So it's a pretty common thing, at least in my limited experience, when laws start getting passed around civil liberties and registering people and, marking people in some way, designating them in some way, that people take the conversation to that terrible conclusion, sort of saying like, well, if you do this, how is that not leading to the final solution? So whether it's a fair thing to bring up, not fair, it's not for me to say, but I'm not surprised that Claremont, as a writer, is connecting those dots and raising the stakes for the people that we care about in the story by saying like, hey, the world is full of a mix of individuals. Governments can only be trusted so much, and maybe we should be a little more cautious for the sake of our heroes. And it adds drama, of course, if we make their everyday lives more dangerous.
Yeah. I think it was more just the historical inaccuracy of the statement. There was never a time where there was a benevolent Nazi regime that was, hey, we're just gonna don't worry, it's all good.
Okay, yes and no.
You know,
pretty
aggressive off the bat.
Yes. So, when that party gets elected democratically in 1933, they did not announce where they were going with things.
No.
They slowly chipped away at civil liberties of the various communities, including the Jews in Germany, bit by bit. And then, by what? What year did they invade Poland?
Well, 39. But I mean, Kristallnacht is before that. There's a whole bunch of stuff that happens, right?
So, it builds up until it becomes the Holocaust as we know it, like this mass genocide. But it starts off as like, yeah, we're gonna start to you're not allowed to own property anymore, or like we're taking away voting rights, and we're like slowly
we're just becoming addicted. Like there's just no government anymore, it's just us.
It starts slow, but it is flippant. I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But there is something in there.
There is something. Yeah.
There's a nugget.
All right. Nazis probably
give her a break, Lou.
To the Jews. What's that?
Give her a break, Lou.
Oh,
it doesn't affect normal folks, only muties.
Better not let Joe hear that chump, considering who's in the private gym with him.
Ooh, who's in the private gym with Joe? Let's find out.
Exactly. Built to preserve and protect the people and property and values of our great land. I saved Val Cooper's life once, one of my bigger goofs.
Don't sound so bad the way she puts things.
Silver-tongued devil, that's her. Paving the road home to Hades with good intentions.
Rogue, I only bought this exerciser from the Fantastic Four as a gimmick. Back when they hit hard times and had to sell off some of their stuff. I never figured on it never being used. It was designed for their strongman, the thing. Sure you can handle... Jeez.
Works like a charm, old buddy. Before we move on, when were the Fantastic Four hard hit up?
Oh, come on. There's so many.
Is there?
Decades.
I don't know.
I mean, they got to make some drama, right? So I'm sure there's times where like the Fantastic Four is bankrupt.
Right. I didn't know if there's an actual. I don't know. Like, hey, remember that famous time that the Fantastic Four had no money?
Their comics were off the rails a lot of the time.
Gotcha.
I haven't even finished reading the first 100, which is like the Lee Kirby run. But after that, it's just like Roy Thomas is on it. They're just rolling the dice, rehashing plots, and yeah. Oh, Chuck says, "Oh man, the FF had years where they were broke."
Okay, all right, there you go.
Jason Jose adds that Namor was the only mutant on the team then. Yes and no. I'm going to just throw out there that Namor, I don't think, was recognized as a mutant by Marvel or fandom for a very long time, up until they named him the first mutant, probably well after this. And I could be wrong on that. I agree he has all the characteristics of being a mutant, given that he's born with his powers and such. But I don't know if in 87 he was being considered a mutant already. He certainly is now. That's without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that machine is throwing off some serious Kirby vibes, says Chuck. And Jason points out that it's 47.05 tons. Yeah, she's a strong one. I also want to point out the headband is here.
Oh, yeah.
Which was the missing piece. We had the big hair. We've had the jacket.
Yep.
Now we've got the headband. So I feel like the Jim Lee contribution is like the pieces are all there for Rogue to be the absolute dynamite character that, at least the version of her that everybody loves. All the pieces are there, which is cool. Anyway, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
The reps average 50 tons. It's 10 minutes before she breaks a sweat. 15 more before she begins to hurt.
Golly, sure looks impressive. Mind if I watch? Very much. This is a private workout. You'd be glad. Oh, Why, Rogue, after all these months, I'd figured you'd be glad to see me. Mystique, I'm losing my touch. Time was I know you no matter what you look like. Give your foster mother a hug, sweetheart. Careful, my skin touches yours, I'll absorb your power and psyche. I thought you joined the X-Men to have that problem fixed. Yeah, well, like Mick Jagger says, you can't always get what you want. Rogue, this isn't a social call. Destiny had a precognitive flash about the X-Men. In the very near future, in or around the city of Dallas, the X-Men are going to die. Thanks, Mystique. I appreciate the warning. I didn't come simply to warn you, girl, but to take you away. Rogue, if you aren't with the team, you won't share their fate. They're my friends, Mystique. I care for them as much as I do for you. I can't. I won't walk out on them. But you will on me.
Maybe the reason they all die is because you aren't there.
Right, Mystique. Maybe Freedom Force could have helped Mystique. Jeez.
I do love their dynamic, though, that even though they're on opposite sides of the law, their bond is more important than that. Like, they're above that pettiness.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Totally.
And you got to forgive Rogue for not noticing it's hurt. It just, the story just told us that she breaks sweat and she's actually, her muscles are hurting. So she's getting exhausted. She's, wearing down physically. So I'm sure her focus is on other things like managing the weights she's lifting. 50 tons. Come on, man.
50 tons.
Mystique, give her a break.
Come on.
Yeah. Nighttime on a different night.
Yep. On a day that's not this one.
No, a totally different night or day. Club DV8 in the Mission District. No, I don't get it.
DV8.
Yeah, I get it, Chris.
Okay. Okay.
Small space, jammed tight. Air booming with raw, raunchy rock and roll.
Woo!
Solo star turn. Billed as a former backup singer for Leela Cheney, whose recommendation got her the gig. Audience doesn't expect much. Their surprise, their treat. It's a 1 in a million voice, pure as a choir girl, one song. What is a choir girl, one song?
Oh, no, as a choir girl, one song. Earthy and whiskey rich. Like
there isn't a comma or anything. It just.
I know.
Okay.
I blame
earthy,
the letterer.
Orzechowski.
That's right.
Earthy and whiskey rich, like Joplin. The next. Oh, no. Pure as a choir girl, one song.
That's right.
Whiskey rich, like Joplin the next. Okay, I get it. It's hard to read it when you haven't rehearsed. Anyway, tempered with hurt, fueled by passion that stirs the blood, the performance wins over even this toughest and most knowledgeable of crowds. But as the set builds to its climax, oops!
Hey, the lights!
Drunk short out the whole system.
Fix it, you guys. A lady can't sing in darkness. No problem, folks. Alison Blair doesn't need DV8's light show. As the Dazzler, she can provide her own.
Is she glowing?
Way to go!
Don't be ridiculous, man. People don't glow.
Muties do.
Who cares? It's music that matters.
Enjoy that, fella. Forget the rest.
Too soon, it seems. For performer and audience both, the show is over. She tries to damp down her radiance, but the applause and cheers act like a drug, casting her soul to the stars. She's so happy, she can't stop glowing. She wants to last forever. It's a mood, a moment. This is what she loves, what gives her life true meaning, what she was born for.
Wolverine, do you hear? They like me. They really like me.
A lot to like, darling.
Thanks. You've no idea how much this means to me.
Hate to spoil things, Allie, but you better start figuring how much this'll cost. You're a mutant, Dazzler, and an X-Man. Going public with your powers, just like you did, may not have been the smartest of plays. Especially when the team's trying to keep a low profile.
You mean I screwed up again? Seems sometimes that's all I do. I'm sorry, Wolverine.
Don't be sorry, girl. Just next time, think harder, do better.
There may not be a next time, boss, or a future. Rogue? For all you, me, any of us.
By the way, there is a Marvel Legends where Wolverine comes in the black tank top and a cowboy hat. And I have it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it San Francisco Club DV8 edition Wolverine?
No. But it's awesome nonetheless.
It sounds good.
Yeah. It's on like the older Wolverine buck, but it doesn't matter now. I still got it.
Nice.
Black Spiders, what's up, my dudes? How you doing?
Hey.
Meanwhile, downtown, off Market, near Union Square. I love the movie they're coming out of. You see that?
Oh, I do.
Raiders of the Lost Temple. Good joke.
It is. It's the kind of joke that like a mom would say. You guys.
Or
someone who's like only knows one of the pop culture references would get it wrong. Or a teacher,
So deeper cut, the poster, that long shot, or the little sandwich board that he's jumping over, is the cover to Long Shot #1 of the limited series.
There you go.
So Raiders of the Lost Temple stars Long Shot, as drawn by Arthur Adams.
Huh.
There you go.
Hey,
Wow! Havoc, this movie picture was great.
We're in public, Long Shot. You're supposed to use my real name.
Sorry. You all have so many. I get confused keeping track.
No problem.
There was a stuntman in the movie with the same name as me. And the girl who has the neatest name ever. Ricochet Rita.
That's nice.
Do you think we could maybe meet them sometimes and be friends?
Anything's possible. But they're movie people, pal. So don't get your hopes up too high.
Woo? See that puppy there?
Yeah. Okay, you guys, leave the lady be.
Alex, look!
Just what we need. Trouble.
Make us, cop. Oh, no! Alex, shot them. Lucky night, sweets. You get to party with the Bay City Badland Boppers. Ooh!
The toughest group in town.
Badland Boppers.
Hey, roll this here, Joby. Ain't polite to keep a lady waiting. There are 4 lights. There are 4 headlights on that one side of the car.
Oh, I gotta go back. Sorry. Yeah. Well, that's how Bay City Badland Boppers build their...
I really want them to be snapping their fingers next,
Well, right. I mean, you've seen that SNL skit?
Oh, yeah.
The parody of...
The Cobras and the... What the heck are they? It's the Cobras and the...
And one of them is like the tigers or the...
Yeah.
Because they're meow,
Yeah. Norm Macdonald is right.
The Jaguars, yeah. It's Robert Downey Jr. is the host.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's a parody of West Side Story and the gangs. And Will Ferrell's hilarious in that. I mean, everyone.
They're all
it's
good.
Worth checking online. It's a really. I find that I watch that one and I laugh every time. Yeah, Daryl Hammond does a really great voice. But the thing that killed me the most in that whole thing was I saw that before I watched West Side Story. Like I saw that first. And Sherry O'Terry.
Yeah.
Does this? She comes on running on screen as this
she does
this little girl who wants to be part of like a tomboy kind of character.
Yeah.
And she so overplays it, and it's hilarious. And they like shoo her away. And then when you watch West Side Story, the original one, that was almost exactly how that character was portrayed.
Hey! There's a.
And they're like, get out of here.
Get out of here.
It's worth watching that one again. Anyway, here we go. They're stealing that girl. Why won't Alex help? Doesn't he care? He's been so quiet since we fought the Marauders. His girlfriend, Polaris, is the Marauders' new leader. I guess that makes him feel bad. I wish I knew how to make him feel better. Maybe the movie people would know. Everything came all right in the end. Now, cars run on those round, rolling rubber feet, which are filled with air. If my spikes let that air out, it can't go anywhere anymore. Hi, I'm Longshot. Don't be scared. I'm rescuing you.
My hero.
Huh?
Who that?
What gives?
Hey.
Joby, watch the road, man.
Tires are flaring me and I can't hold it. That enough, fellas? You've caused enough grief for one night. How about packing it in before things get out of hand? Is your friend crazy facing them by himself? He'll be killed. In fact, I'd seriously reconsider this entire direction of your life. Consider it a dead end. Guaranteed. No prospects, less joy. You some preacher gonna reform us?
We maybe got no prospects, Demento. But you're gonna be the one with the busted skull.
Wanna bet? You see, fellas, I'm a mutie. I project energy plasma in a highly excited state.
Jeez!
I melted your car. I can do the same to you.
It's okay, man. We don't want no more trouble. Nobody move. Oh, shit. That's your character.
Oh, yeah.
Or is it mine?
No.
I forgot.
The lieutenant? I think maybe it's yours, actually, because I did the Eastwood one last time, didn't I?
Right. Nobody move.
Wouldn't think of it. Lieutenant Morale. We're in the States. Lieutenant Morale.
Can I be arrested now, please? Appreciate the assist, Havoc.
I hope those guys who got shot are all right.
Me too. Look, I'm risking my badge telling you this, but there's a federal task force in town hunting for X-Men's scalps. So be careful.
You're good people, Lieutenant. Too bad there aren't more like you.
And you see all those little hearts coming from that lady toward Longshot?
Yeah.
And he is not interested or clueless about it.
Unsure. Just doesn't understand what that means.
I like that also that Havoc's his plasma blast says Shazam!
Shazam!
Sometimes I feel like, again, his stuff blows things up. Other times it's melty.
Yeah.
I'm okay with him actually having control over that, perhaps. Like that might be the end game of his like training, is that he can focus.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And either melt or just smash or whatever it is. I also really love that drawing of him in that pose, like the way his hand is drawn as he's Shazamming. Mm-hmm. The way that the beams come out look good too. They're not. It feels just really intentional.
It looks very Magneto-esque, actually.
It does. Like he's carefully controlling it as opposed to it being an overwhelming. He's like, just meow. I'm on your car.
Cool. We don't see that a lot from him. So
no,
or at least we haven't yet.
Yeah, this is a certain brooding version of him. Walking around in a suit, my life is over. Right. Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
What do you do when you get pimples and zits and stuff?
Oh well, I tell you what I do: either pull the covers up, stay in bed, or I try to get my sports car and forget about it.
That's a good strategy.
Thanks.
Solve these oxyziddles. Yeah, okay, moving on. Alcatraz later.
The lieutenant was real upset. She'd gone to the mat to protect us, but got overruled. Anyway, the lady Longshot saved, gave him her phone number. Kid's building quite a collection, and we split. What kids? Oh, and we split for here. Feds are freedom
rogue,
force. Yeah. Mystique leads them. She and her partner Destiny, they pretty much raised me. They're more my folks than my natural parents. Destiny reads timelines. She can foretell the future. According to her, the X-Men don't have any.
It just to point that out, I don't know if they've ever been called partners before, but obviously in a modern vernacular,
right?
It reads that reads in a 2025 completely in context as they are a
romantic couple.
They cohabitate. They're a romantic couple, and they've raised children, or at least one child so far. I don't know how it read in 1987. You might have read that they were partners in combat on Freedom Force, and they, cohabitated to raise a child. But I don't know. That's one of the things with like queer coding is like it doesn't always land with every reader. I think 12-year-old me did not bat an eyelash, meaning that I didn't even read it as being them being romantic. Like I have no idea. It's hard to go back to that moment, but man, reading it now, it's like a spotlight is on it. It's really quite clear. Lady's been wrong before, but we can't afford to take the chance. Rogue says Destiny claims Storm's the key. Trouble is, Aurora was on a private mission. We got no way to contact her. So I'm going after her. Stands to reason, though, that whoever comes along is at risk. Dallas is the critical danger zone. Safest play is not to go there. Me, I never played it safe in my life. Ain't about to start. But I'm also not asking for help. And I won't think less of anyone who chooses to deal himself out.
Yo, short stuff. So, like, who wants to live forever? What this comes down to is our individual survival versus the team's. Standing alone or standing together. I'm an X-Man Wolverine. I stand by my friends and with the team. You feel the same, Psylocke?
Oh, that was Wolverine. Shit, sorry. You feel the same, Psylocke? Of course, my friend.
Sorry.
Of course, my friend. I'm with you, Wolverine, to the end. If Storm is in danger, how can we not help her?
I had a good evening tonight. Maybe this is why. The last feast for the condemned soul. I'll tell you the truth, Wolverine. I'm scared stiff. I don't want to die. But if I walk away now, I don't care what you say. I'll never be able to live with myself.
Count me in too, Wolverine. The devil I will. You're not an X-Man, Madeline, or even a mutant. You're a civilian. This isn't your fight. Moreover, we can't spare anyone to look after you when things get rough. What chance will I have if I'm left behind? How long till the Marauders find me? You say if I come with you, I may die. If I'm left on my own, chum, I will.
Miss Pryor has a point, Wolverine. She's my brother's wife. I'll watch out for her.
Blazes. Have it your own way, then. Let's roll.
No need for grumps, boss. Look on the bright side. At least with Madeline, we finally got ourselves a first-class pilot. Y'all don't have to put up with me anymore.
I'll try to contact Storm telepathically. I doubt she's in range, but one never knows. Storm, do you hear me? Are you in danger? Storm! Before we talk to Storm, man, give Madeline some guns.
Yeah.
And like a jetpack thing.
Right.
Pilot, let's get her like an exoskeleton or exosuit of flying.
Yeah.
That like breaks out of the. I guess you have to build all that stuff. Never mind. But yeah, at least give her some guns.
Right. And a little derringer that fits in the sock.
Exactly. Chuck says, probably man, shut off the Bay City Rollers.
Hey, funny story with the Bay City Rollers. They're playing this summer in the small town just north of where I live for the local, which is also, I mean, like, you know, it's what they're known for, I guess, but their local Scottish festival. And their special guests this year include a few actors from Outlander and the Bay City Rollers.
They sing that song Saturday night?
They sing that song Saturday night.
So are you going to go on a Saturday night to hear them play
They're playing on a Saturday night.
Dude, I just can't help but think of one particular thing, which is, of course, is So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Of course.
The scene with Mike Myers' dad.
Nate. S-A-T-U-R-D-A-Y. Nate.
It's, you can look that up on YouTube if you haven't seen it, but Mike Myers' Scottish dad in So I Married an Axe Murderer, which I think was his first feature.
Okay.
It predates Austin Powers and Wayne's World, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong on the Wayne's World.
Maybe it's after Wayne's World. Maybe it's like the next movie he does.
Yeah, but it's definitely before Austin Powers.
Right. Oh, yes, definitely before Austin Powers, yeah.
But it has got some really great moments in it. And that stuff with him going home to his parents' house and, of course, Myers playing his own dad.
Oh, yeah.
Is just timeless. It's really, really good. So I'm hoping that event you're going, that is, what town is it, in Fergus?
It's in Fergus. I'm not necessarily going. I just think it's funny that it's happening.
How did I pick that it was in Fergus? Come on.
It's in Fergus, Ontario.
Yeah, I just knew. Because it's Fergus. If it's outside, you got to go.
It is. It's an outdoor concert.
Okay, when is this?
It's in August, I think.
Oh, August. Shoot. Let's talk about it, man. Maybe I'll meet you in Fergus just to go have a little Scotch fest. I mean, come on. Scotch Soberfest.
You lied to me, Skinner. You lied.
There's no such thing as Scotch Soberfest.
There's no.
We can
make Scotch use me, Skinner. You use me.
Yeah, we could make some Scotchtoberfest T-shirts and go to that.
Oh my goodness,
that might be so much fun.
I know. All right, we'll keep it in mind.
Do you have any Scottish roots? Do you think?
Not really. Not that I'm aware of. It's mostly. It's not Scottish.
Me neither.
Irish or English or French, but not Scottish, to my understanding.
Well, I think we gotta find some sort of fictional Scottish ancestor and get some colors on, and off we go. I'll wear my kilt if you wear yours. Okay, moving on.
Nice.
Wyoming, on the border between dark and dawn, reality and imagination. What? I thought I heard someone calling my name. By the way, what a treacherous climb that is. Oh, my God.
Yeah, right. You know, just go and climb that mountain. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. The wind, combining with nerves and fatigue, been climbing for hours. Yet the summit seems as far above me now as when I started. Goddess! Black lightning! Easy Comics. The same as was hurled by the demons Naze and I fought The eye killers striking at the mountain from a cloudless sky. Oh my goodness, Chris. By the way, they can never settle on where the accent goes on Naze. Did you know that? It's shifted from the Z to the E and back to the Z over and over and over again.
Wow.
Just saying.
Yeah. It's how much they care about representing that culture. Oh. You still there?
Is to hug the rock as close as possible and pray the boulders bounce over. Lady, Forge, my love, what has possessed you? What have you done?
Okay, so now we got this ad.
Yeah, it's like a giant coiling snake of turd demons.
Yeah. So I see X Factor and X-Men and New Mutants, right?
Oh, yeah. That ad, that's an Alan Davis drawing, right? Inked by Paul Neary.
Mm-hmm.
Wolverine in the forefront. Awesome drawing of Warlock, too.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
But it's really good. And then you get those great X Factor costumes, the sort of first version of the X Factor costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Colossus is there.
Yeah, we haven't seen that in ages.
Yeah. You got little Artie.
Is that who that is in the back there?
He's pink, lying on the legs of Psylocke. Yeah, that's Artie.
Okay.
He is a mutant who is first appears in X Factor pretty early on. He has a connection to Beast in that his father is like one of the scientists that developed or helped develop the serum that made Beast furry in the first place, and then took away his fur in the second place, which is why Beast is no longer furry in X Factor.
Right.
But he develops the anti-furry one as a way to cure his own mutant son. And his son is able to project like astral images of either his own thoughts or things that are happening somewhere else. So he's mute. And he's a sweet kid, and his best buddy is little Leech from the Morlock.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So Artie and Leech are like a little tandem of freakish-looking little kids.
Drawn by John Byrne. Okay.
Well, even more so if they're drawn by John Byrne. Pretty cool-looking Ileana there, too. I feel like her armor's on the wrong side, but it doesn't matter. It still looks great. I love those augmented New Mutants uniforms. Like take a New Mutants costume and then like change it in a little way, adding Danny Moonstar's pieces to it, or the Dark Child stuff with magic there is also super cool. Anyway, and how nice is the X Factor logo? Like that one looks great. That's not where they started. They started with a really boring one.
Yeah,
and that new logo is just perfect.
Yeah. Looks good.
If the book is good, but it feels like a good brick. Like that looks good in 3D. Nice.
Totally.
I am dead. There is nowhere to run, no way to fight on this sheer cliff without falling. Demons have no physical substance. They pass right through me. I still have a chance. Was this what Naze meant when he said Forge's defenses would not react to me? Naze made no secret of his feeling, and when he kissed me, I responded. Worry about your heart later, woman. Your goal is in sight, glowing like a sun, and above him a hole in the very fabric of reality. Even without my elemental powers, the empathic oneness they gave me with the world, I can still sense the fundamental wrongness about this place and moment. Almost hear Mother Earth scream in agony at her violation. Whoa!
Thinkest thou, pretty frailing, our dread master's will to thwart? Better be our growing hunger thy flesh shall sate.
My leg! Demons have solidified. But if they can hurt me, perhaps I can them. So they can be cut. They can be slain. But they are a numberless horde. I am alone. With my ass blowing in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shakespeare quoting motherfucking and demons are speaking.
Michael says Red Hot Chili Peppers also playing the Scottish Festival.
Yield, wench. Join thy spirit to ours. Our master will reshape thy flesh to give thee pretty wings and make thee once more the Wind Rider.
My spirit, foul creature, shall remain my very own. As for my flesh, if you want it, pour it in blood. The horde falls back before her furious charge, her body fueled by a berserker rage that would do Wolverine proud. She's never moved with such speed and strength, and far in the distance, a low rumble of thunder stirs in the highlands. See, Scotland.
See?
Faint echo of her transcendent fury. It's a magnificent effort, but it isn't enough.
Poor puny pretty. Thy race has ruled this precious orb too long. Our turn now. Mine! Her heartbeat you claim to feast on. Mine! Mine!
The one who holds me could have finished me easily. Why are they playing? Do they think so little of me? Their arrogance is no doubt derived from their master. Their mistake. Must wait until the last moment. Then move!
Ah!
Down. 3 more to go. X-Men odds. I am afraid, but I do not really mind. This, I think, is the battle, the foe I was born to fight. When I first lost my powers months ago, I would have made much easier prey. I depended too much on them. Too often to the exclusion of my other talents, other skills, which should all merge into the totality that is Storm. That demon nearly had me, but lightning struck him down. That's a great little drawing of her, by the way.
This is great what?
Little drawing. Drawing little is hard.
Yeah.
Like there's good motion and everything. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Trying for me, Forge, and striking your own by mistake? Cost you. Must be balance within a person, between mind and body and spirit. As without, between the world and those who dwell on it. That lesson I owe you, Forge. A hard one to learn, but I am the better for it. What made you turn your back on your own teaching? That's like a pile of monsters.
Yeah.
Yuck. You are the maker of things, as Naze said. What you create here is chaos and pain, a world of unending misery and slaughter. I love you still, and I fear as always. But this abomination I cannot abide. So I married an axe murderer is what the quote is from. Oh, yeah. Good. It's between Wayne's World and Austin Powers. Very nice. Watch it tonight, everybody.
Shut off the Bay City Rollers.
Head!
Head!
Yeah, the head.
Head. Look at that thing!
Did Naze cast some secret spell to aid me? Have I reached the summit? And I still live. Goddess, if there was Another way. How strong he looks. Forge!
Who? Aurora? How did you find me?
Face?
I know. Hey, what's going on? Why are you here?
Naze showed me the way, and I have come to put an end to this madness. The gate you seek to open would have destroyed the world. I cannot allow that.
You're wrong. I was trying to close the gate, not destroy the world, Storm, but save it.
No! Your words, I know they ring true. Eyes, far more sane than mine. The demons, reanimated, numberless, more fierce than before, closing in for the kill. I was wrong.
You were tricked.
Forgive me.
Always.
With that word, a last embrace, he kicks them both off the precipice. Yet before they can even begin to fall, they are consumed.
Their cursed soul light, so pure it burns.
Their fiery essences are immediately drawn upwards into the gaping maw of the gateway, leaving not the slightest trace they had ever been.
As ends the shaman, so ends his Airy. Skaboom!
Skaboom indeed. And with a force unheard, unfelt since the world's dawn, Forge's mountain of power is shattered to dust.
Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. And the fun's only just begun. You played your part to perfection, Wind Rider. You and Forge were the only two capable of stopping me. And with both you gone, the world is mine for as long as it lasts.
Next, False Dawn. Bam, bam, bam.
Waka waka.
Yeah. This one had some good Storm stuff in it.
Sure did.
Did you happen to read the letters?
No. Did you?
Me neither. I did not read the letters. I have been distracted. But I will give them a read, and if there's something else to add of note, I will add it to an addendum.
Nice.
The last couple of weeks, I've added little addendums the next day or the following day, and it's not too hard for me to do at the moment. So if I can, I will. Next issue, of course, in this sequence is 225.
225.
Here,
okay.
I'll do this so you can see it a little more clearly.
There we go.
We have the Fall of the Mutants banner over top, Uncanny X-Men, and we see Freedom Force.
And
select members of Freedom Force and select members of the X-Men, including Purple Brief's Colossus.
Whew. And there's a giant Stonewall there too. Wow.
Yeah, well, that makes the battle a little more significant if you add another strong guy to the team. But I mean, the back muscles done by Silvestri there are friggin' incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to reading this one so much so
is that
I'm actually going to start reading it right now.
Is that part one?
It is the first part of the Fall.
Exciting. Okay.
Yeah, I'm down with that. So I'm excited to read that. Next week, we haven't talked about what episode will be, but it will not be a live one.
No.
There will be probably a 9 p.m. premiere on Tuesday night, but I will be unavailable for next week's episode. But like I said, 9 p.m., there should be something that airs. It might just be footage of you dancing to the Bay City Rollers for 120 minutes. We shall see. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is, I don't want to spoil. want to make promises I can't keep also. So you and I will talk about this off the air, but I have 3 ideas. They're all fine. One is easier than the other 2. Yes. Well, I always try and come with multiple solutions to problems when I can. I got, do you think I'll be able to get these to you and some more? Got a couple of sketch cards for Toronto Comic-Con. Some fun stuff. And I'm trying to work on my fast version of sketch cards for to put in people's comics so that when they pick up our new issue of Peregrine's Badlands, this is the one I'm just doing right now, quick pencil, actually looking kind of beautiful. Nice. Elegant penciling. But give people some quick sketch cards to throw in their books as a thank you for when they pick up the newest issue of Peregrine. It's called Peregrine's Badlands, which debuts, fingers crossed, at Toronto Comic-Con, which is very, very soon, which is March 14th to 16th at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. Get your tickets today. I'm hoping that's going to be a really fun con.
Yeah, me too.
It's big. It's real big, like really big. So that should be a blast. So next week, another episode will not be 225. The following week, which is like the 18th, March 18th, that one will be doing 225. If that's okay with you.
Actually, it might be the 17th.
Well, the 16th is a Sunday. You can see it on the map. We can see it on this image or the calendar.
Oh, you're right. It is the 18th. You're right. It is the 18th.
Yeah, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, dude, that brings us to the end. Now we can all go watch Daredevil.
That's what we all want to do.
If you want to film a review, Chris, if you want to just do a little, 2 minutes, your take on that, film it on your phone and just post it in the drive, and I'll put it up on YouTube. I'll frame it with some Daredevil stuff. Give your take on Daredevil episode 1. If you want to, just put it out there. Something you can do.
It's not a bad idea.
It might be a terrible idea, but anyway, if you can film with your phone, it'll be a better film.
The world needs more of us in our hot takes on comics. That's what I'm thinking.
I agree with you. I agree. That's cool. So, in all seriousness, though, that brings us to the end of another episode of Previously in X-Men. Thank you to my good buddy, Mr. Chris Sanagan, writer of Group of 7, A Most Secret Tale, and writer of Peregrines. Thank you, Chris. You can find out more about our comics and upcoming appearances, of course, at groupof7comics.ca. Of course, that's the number 7, as you can see on the screen in front of you. And please follow us at Group of 7 Comics on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, which is meta stuff. We're on Blue Sky. Find us there.
All things.
Yep, that's true. I haven't posted on TikTok in a long time. Hey, do the Americans have TikTok still?
Yeah, it was a
what
weird
thing. With that?
Oh, it was. Well, I mean, people in the chat might be
like an afternoon where they didn't have it.
But it was one of those things like if you already had it installed, you could keep it installed, but you couldn't get a net new on a day, that kind of stuff.
Okay, sounds weird. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're there. And then please click like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your take with us on this issue. Share your take. Let us know on how you feel about this issue or any other X-Men comics. It's up to you.
Or this floating head.
Throw that in the comment section below. It makes a big difference with the engagement on our channel. And some Wolverine for you. Ah! And as always, thank you. Stay Xy. And we'll see you again next time on Previously in X-Men. Thanks, Bubs.
Have a great night, everybody.
Yeah, take care, everyone. Have a good week.
Thanks for joining.
Daredevil, bro.